Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today let's go over another premium medium question in the database/pandas category that I just solved on my own. So again, really happy that I was able to come up with my own solution to this problem without any assistance. So this one is pretty straightforward, but it does have kind of a little bit more requirements than others. So either way, let me show you how I did it and let's go over it. So they want you to write a solution. This one's called product sales analysis number 4. And they want you to write a solution that reports each user, for each user, so user ID, the product ID in which the user spent the most money. And you don't have to sort it in any order. So there might be more than one. So for example, 101 has product ID costs 10 times 10 is 100. So that's going to be 1, and then this one's going to be another one. So 7 times 15 is what, 105? That's going to be another one, and we're going to see basically the biggest price. That's what we're interested in, and based on the product ID itself. So for example, for 102, there is a product ID of 9 and 6. 9 and 6 for 1 is going to be 90 plus 60 is 150. So this is going to both be included because 150 is the same as 6 times 25. So 6 times 25, 4 times 25 is 100, plus 2 times 25 is 150. So these are valid, and so is this one because 10 times 15 is also 150. So that's why you see product ID 1 as user ID 101 listed in the result. So let's try to organize this a little bit. Let's go and try to get the user ID as the key along with the sale ID or along with the product ID, because we care about, that's what we're going to have in the results. So we want to see how much profit this sale generated, which is going to be 100, for example. So let's make a default dict of type list. Let me refresh the page. Safari always seems to freeze up when I press the return key. Okay, so let's go ahead and iterate over the sales table. And let's get the user ID. And so basically first we want to find the product prices. So we're going to map this to this. This is the key, this is the price. So ID DP is equal to the price, so product price of I. And now to calculate the total profit you made here. So let's not worry about that. Let's worry about the actual sales, the product ID and the quantity. So the user ID along with the product ID, that's what we want. So that's what we're focusing on. So UID PID is equal to sales is equal to S, and then sales user ID of I. Or no, sorry. It's S here, and then sales. Wait, what am I doing? So S here, sales product ID of I. And then let's calculate the profit, which is just going to be the quantity. So sales quantity of I times the price itself, which is going to be D. It's PR, it's a typo, PR of the actual product. Well, so we want the quantity times the price. The quantity times the price of this particular product ID. So PID. And then we're just going to say D of UID PID dot append profit. Let's see what this looks like. Okay, cool. So now you can see let's see. Okay, this is actually going to be unique, the combination of this and this, right? Or they might not be. Okay, let's not make that assumption. Okay, so as you can see, 150, if you sum that together, 150, 150. So let's make this a default dict of type integer. I guess we can make that assumption just looking at this again. So go equals to profit. Okay, cool. So wait a second. So we want the product that generated the highest price. Let's not make that assumption actually, because this is actually not true. So let's go back to what we did. Cool. So we want to look for the highest profit. So basically the highest sum of any list, because for that particular product ID or that particular user ID, that's the most that they spent. Okay, so we're just going to loop through, and so we're going to say this user ID spent this much, okay, on this product. So that's what we're looking for, that combination, and we're going to go here. This product spent 150 and then 150. Okay, cool. So let's call this biggest is a dictionary, and what we're going to do is iterate over our dictionary, and let's say, let's call this a default dict of type integer. I don't want to check if things are in the dictionary already. So biggest k of 0, so is equal to max of biggest k of 0 and d of k. So sum of dk, right? Because that's user ID for this product, that's how much they spent. So I bought shoes, that's how much I spent in total. Print biggest. Cool, so now this is what we're looking for. For 102, if anything is 150, then we can include this, right? That makes our job a little easier, because now we can just say for k and d, if so the sum of dk is equal to biggest k of 0, then we know that we can include the ID, so we can print k of 0, and then also the product ID itself, which is k of 1. So this is like a tuple within the key. Cool, so now we have our solution. Cool, it's just about organizing the information. Now, because we don't care about the ordering, let's just go ahead and create that scaffold. So now we basically have our solution. So 1.append k0, 2.append k1. Let's create our empty data frame. Results of, what is it, user ID equal to 1. Result of product ID is 2. So just setting these columns, top to bottom, left to right. Let's run this. Okay, submit it. And there you go, passes all test cases. Again, I'm really glad that I was able to solve this question on my own without any assistance and come up with my own solution. And also, the runtime and memory is 100%, so pretty rare. So, yep, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more.